Welcome back to the Double Wide Trailer. If you're new here, my name is Marina. I do mobile home living in the hills of East Tennessee in a double wide trailer that's as old as me. And in today's video, you're going to get a little evolution of our dining room. Our dining room has been a work in progress for a long time, but it didn't even start out as a dining room. And so you guys are going to get to see what it started out as, what it turned into, and eventually what it became. I am always in the middle of a mobile home makeover, but the way I'm always in the middle of a mobile home makeover is I build on top of things I've already done. So it looks like this, and then it turns into this, and then it turns into something different, and then it turns into something different. But I try to always use and utilize things I've done prior to what I'm doing in order to make the process go smoother and let the process be cheaper. It's also a good way for me to find out what works for me and what doesn't work for me, what looks good, what doesn't look good, what I like, what I don't like. Our skills also improve during this process, and it ends up helping me get somewhere I want to be when I don't quite know what the route looks like. When I don't quite know how to get there, the detours and the little side roads, the little dirt roads, they get me to where I want to be. And buddy, the gas mileage is like $1.86 a gallon. It's cheaper. I guess it's not the traditional way of making over a room, and it's not the popular way of making over the room. It might not even be the ideal way of making over the room, but it is my way that I do it. And I learn a lot about myself and the people around me and what I like and what they like. And I somehow take the financial burden of doing big makeovers off of us as we do it this way. I'm going to finish up this little project I've been doing for this room, and then we're going to go on this journey start to finish. Okay, so you guys know I love cross-stitching, right? I am on something called FlossTube. I don't post content there, but I sure do as heck watch content there. I didn't even know it was a thing until y'all told me, but I love cross-stitching. I'm always in the middle of a bunch of pieces. It's my only way of art I can do anything because your girl's not artistic. I get called autistic in the comments all the time. I literally thought people were calling me artistic and misspelling it for a while. It's not. It's not that. So I'm not either of those things. I don't reckon. So the only form of art I can produce is the cross stitch. That being said, it is a form of needlepoint, and so is embroidery. So I've been wanting to try embroidering, and I saw this at Ross forever ago. I've had this frame for a while. And I didn't really know where I was going to put it, but I knew I was going to put it somewhere kind of thing. I saw this for $7.99, and I saw that it has the card already in there, I think, like this stuff right here. And I see a lot of people on FlossTube take their finished projects, embroidery, cross stitch, whatever they're doing, and take it to the Hobby Lobby or somewhere like that to get it framed. And a lot of times they use this kind of stuff, whatever this is called, cardstock looking thing. I saw that this already had that in there. So I was like, listen, this is only an itty bitty square I really have to embroider, so maybe I could do something simple, okay? Don't expect no, like, Bob Ross in it, floss style, nothing, okay? This will be my first time embroidering. It'll be with you guys. I like doing the first time I ever do things with you guys. You guys are my security blanket in that sort of sense, but I'm going to try. I don't even know what we're making yet. I don't know, but we're right now going to try to do something simple here that just adds a piece of something I love to this area, because I realize I cross-stitch a heck of a lot, but don't have nothing to show for it on none of my walls, and that's going to change soon. But right now, we're working on this wall, and I'm not going to cross-stitch. I'm going to embroider, hopefully. It might turn into a cross-stitch if embroidering becomes way too hard. We'll see. I bought an arm specifically for this.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So I'll continue to sing. We're going to iron on like a 2x4, because we ain't got an iron board, but our iron board. But she needs a Zevo, and I need a hero. Come on, just sit somewhere. Thank you. Look how pretty. Look how pretty. Okay. I'm gonna look. I put my little initials on the bottom. If y'all ever in the future, tell your kids, if you ever see this at a storage sale or at a dumpster dive, please keep it, because I love it so much. I worked hard on it. I told my kids, I was like, please don't ever let this land in the trash. I'm begging you. The other ones, okay, but this is like my first actual piece of art I made. Please don't let this end up in the trash. If it does, Lord bless the trash man. But please don't let it land in the trash. If your kids see this, if you see this, how do you turn on an arm? It says Max. I don't think I need to go to Max, right? I don't even know where the, oh, wow. Wait, silk? Maybe we should do silk. Let me use my phone and Google how I even iron or cross stitch. I'm pretty confident I know what to do. Pretty confident. Let me get like a towel. Yeah, I have one in the dryer. That's on. Keep your house clean and your laundry done so you have stuff when you need it. Well, face this down. I love these towels, by the way. And then you do it face down, it said. And then gently on the linen. Nylon. I ain't got no. Oh. It has nylon, silk, wool. Oh, it's pouring out water. Okay, something went wrong. Something happened, not know what it is. Oh, it's not even plugged up. Oh my gosh. Lord Jesus, keep me near the cross. That's wet now. Hold on a minute. I gotta put a little water on my 2x4. Ow. No, I need this. It says on linen. That says max though. It says medium heat. Oh, it's supposed to be smoking? Okay. Now I know why people iron their clothes. Oh my gosh, this actually works. This works way better than throwing it in the dryer for 10 minutes and hoping and praying that it comes out less wrinkled. That's been my life hack for the past 20 years. Maybe we need to not go by my life hacks. Maybe we need to listen to the people who have it all together. Oh, it is ironed. I turn it off now. Where do I sit it like that?
Are you okay?
Oh, look. How good it looks. Maybe I want my stitches ironed down. They looked pretty good on the area I just accidentally ironed. Maybe I do. Just lightly ironing this area. Yeah, I like the way that the stitches look ironed down for some reason. I like ironing. It's fun. Can you turn it off? Now, look how flat that is. We gotta frame it. My little signature, it looks like it says me, it says MR. That's how you'll be able to identify it at the landfill. It is finished. It's finished. I love it so much. It took me days and days and days and days and days and days and days. It took me about a week to finish this. It does not look like it would take you that long. It does. Cross stitching takes a very long time. However amount of time you think you're going to spend on a project, triple it. That's the correct amount of time you're going to take on a project. It is a lot, but it is so rewarding and I love it. I wish I can see a little bit of wrinkles in it, but I'm not mad about it. I'm just so happy that it's done and I love it. And it's got my little initials down there. It's the perfect color. Look, it matches that perfectly. I love it. I did a little Instagram thing I think I'm going to post of like the process of it. I try to post over there often, but I don't post as often as I probably should. So I'll probably update you guys over there and show you just like the step-by-step process. But I love it. I'm already working on another piece of home decor for the house. I love it. I did end up going with cross stitching though because I was going to do embroidery and I was like, you know what? This is for a part of the home. I don't know if I'm going to be good at embroidery. Might want to try something I know I'm okay at. So let's go with the cross stitching. We went with cross stitching and I'm so glad that I did. I'm so excited. I like that. Like, that's a piece I'm proud of, a statement I stand by. I love that. I've got a wad of a ton of different looks I can go for today, thanks to Pair Eyewear for sponsoring this video. Pair Eyewear is literally, quite literally, one of my most favorite things on the planet. I'm not even being dramatic. So these are the base frames. You just choose what style of base frames that you want. I'm currently wearing the Murphy. And then you choose from a ton of different magnetic top frames that just snap right on and come off that easy. So you can switch up your look 100 times throughout the day if you want to. These make me feel like I want to go to a coffee shop and say the word Java, because for some reason that's just a fun word to say. These make me feel smart. I've been loving the color pink lately, so these kind of bring out my feminine side for some reason. And these are my personal all-time favorites. I love the green. They even offer sun tops, which are magnetic sunglass top frames. And I have quite a few of those as well. It's really dark in here. So I like to order mine online while using the virtual try-on option that they have. I can literally choose my next pair of glasses from the couch. Pair Eyewear also has free US shipping. They have free returns, and their Pair for a Pair program helps provide glasses for kids in need. You can use my link below and use code FEARFULLYCREATEDGIFT15 for a free gift with your purchase, or you can also scan the QR code here. Now let's go change these out again for absolutely no reason. A huge thank you to Pair Eyewear for sponsoring today's video. So we bought this home 3 years ago. It was in 1991, same birth year as me. We are old together. I bought this and it was in such good condition, but it had not been cosmetically touched. Basically everything aside from paint had been left original to the Clayton mobile home lot from 1991. Which means we started this thing off with a lot of the traditional mobile home staples. You had the dark wood, kind of plastic chair rail here. You had a lot of the darker wood, orangier wood tones. You had the gold accents. Funnily enough, it was everything I wanted to run from then, but everything I'm running towards now, which is, I think, is hilarious. When we first started in this double wide, though, I was very much in the old mindset of how I had my trailer in the trailer park, and I didn't realize that I really wanted change. I knew I wanted to do something a little bit different, but I was afraid to step out of the box because I know I'm not very good at decorating. I'm not very visual. I can't see what I want. I can't put it on paper. I kind of just wing everything. And so I've had to learn kind of the aesthetic I like, and I've come to find out I like a bunch of different aesthetics. So I've kind of made a big old aesthetic baby in my double wide. But back then, whenever we first moved here, it was a little overwhelming, and I was kind of just hit like, whoa, I have this whole big double wide now. Twice the size of, literally, double wide, twice the size of my single wide in the trailer park. What the heck am I going to do in here? There's so much to do, but I'm so overwhelmed. And so I just went the safe route, and I did what I thought I would like, what I knew I liked, because I had done it before. And I didn't realize this was a whole time and an era that I had to completely step out of the box and try something new. It wasn't until later that I began doing that. As of recently, I've began doing that. But I don't hate what I did here at the beginning either, because I did end up being able to build on top of it. So I didn't like scratch everything and have to redo everything. I build on top of things. So I was able to build on top of what I had already done. So what we started doing here at the beginning wasn't unnecessary, because it did help get me to where we are now. So even though the look has changed over time, I am glad that we started here, because it has taught me a lot. We demoed basically everything that was in this house. We literally started here in the dining room, on the porch. We were working simultaneously on both at one point, and I had to completely take apart the porch and redo it because I fell through the porch not too long after we moved in here. So I was doing a lot. The inside was great. The bones of the double wide are amazing, but boy, that porch was trouble. So I was going in between the porch and this room, and this room during this era was when we realized we really hate joint compound, and we're not very good at it. Now we're better at it now, but you'll find out towards the end of this video we're still not very good at it. It's a whole thing. I'm telling you, the people who worked the joint compound and all of that stuff, what they call it, wall icing is what it looks like. I don't know, but whoever does that, you're pure talent. talent from the Lord kind of talent, because it's harder than it looks, and it always ends up looking like this. And Shane always ends up making joint compound snow angels in the middle of the floor. Hatred for joint compound is apparent, but I even make it even more so apparent towards the end of this video, because we had just a whole ordeal with it just literally earlier this morning as of me doing this voiceover. Something I did do different when moving here that I did not expect me to do is I went with white paint basically right off the bat. I had done a grayish color in the single wide in the trailer park, and I really loved grayish. I like the medium between beige and gray. I don't like gray and I don't like beige, but I really like grayish. And so I went that route in the single wide. I almost went that route here in the double wide, and I decided against it. I was like, I want to do something different. I want to enhance the bigness of this double trailer here and I want to really make it feel light and airy in here. Now, this was both a good and bad decision. It was a good decision because I still love the white. My walls are still pure white by Sherwin-Williams, but it was also a bad decision a little bit because I went too far, and it ended up starting to feel like an asylum in here, which was, I guess, a good decision in the end. We're going back and forth, but it ended up being a good decision, and it ended up working out in my favor, because even though it did begin to look like an asylum in here, I realized quickly, okay, this is not the look I'm wanting to go for, and I was able to implement a lot of the things that got me to where I want to be right now. All the new things we've been doing in the house, it led me there. And so while getting the house looking like an asylum wasn't on the 2025-2026 bingo card, it did help me realize I don't want an all-white house. First of all, I am not the cleanest person on the planet. Trying to be not the cleanest person on the planet. When you have an all-white house, oh my gosh, you can see dirt everywhere. I mean, everywhere. And it's just not something that I woke up in the morning and I looked around and I was like, wow, everything is so beautiful and white. I woke up and I was like, why do I feel like I'm in an asylum? Why does it feel this way? So going the white route right off the bat, it was a good and a bad thing. It ended up, though, working out in my favor, and we made something good come out of it. We made lemonade out of lemons. We did end up going with the faux brick again. We had done that in the single wide, but I'd actually done a joint compound method with the brick in the single wide. This time I actually went with brick paneling, which the stores stopped selling there for a hot minute. I don't even know if they're still selling it now or if they started selling it again, but it actually became very hard to find this brick paneling, so I was panicking a little bit, and I was like, oh no, I didn't do the joint compound method. I went this route, and now if these stores aren't producing this and selling this, I'm in trouble, because now I've got to make joint compound brick that mirrors this, which is what I had to do in my living room and in my kitchen. So I was a little bit worried. I'm not mad that I kept the brick and I kind of recycled that vision from the trailer in the trailer park. I'm not mad about it. I would have liked to do something different as far as like stonework, and so I'm going to be playing in that a little bit soon, but I don't hate the brick. I still love the brick very much. I still love a lot of the oak qualities that I used to love. I've just kind of tried to enhance them in my brain and tried to do something new. I like stepping out of the box. I like trying new things. It's how I find out that I like things. Because I'm not a very visual person, I don't know if I like something until I actually try it. The whole process has to be done in order for me to step back and say, yes, I like it, or no, I don't like it. It sucks to be that way, but that's just the way that I am. So usually I end up doing something and I find out almost at the very end of the project whether I actually like it or not. And if I like it, it sticks around. And if I don't, it don't. A perfect example of that would be the wood stain that I originally went with in this trailer. So I was wanting to do something different. I had carried over the brick from the prior trailer. I had carried over a lot of the decor likes from the prior trailer. So I was like, I want to do something different with the stain. I had no choice because I picked my flooring, okay, on the internet. I never saw my flooring in person until it got here. And then I realized, oh, this is a very honey oak feeling. Uh-oh. So I had to play with different stain combinations in order to make the stain match the floor in my head, right? In my head, I thought the dark stain that I was used to was not going to match the floor. We ended up going the dark route stain, as you guys can see now in the updated videos. Now, you know, this video at the very end, you'll see we have dark stain in here again. But I didn't think it was going to work, and I was panicking. So I came up with 100 different, not really 100, but like 10 different stain combinations to try to add some warmth to this stain options, because I didn't want the stain to look like raw wood. I didn't want this wood to look like raw wood. So I tried so many different stain combinations. None of them were up to par, in my opinion. I didn't just absolutely love any of these, and it really started bugging me because I was like, what am I going to do? Until finally I had just had it, and I was like, I don't know if I can live with this raw looking wood, orange tinged raw looking wood any longer. And so I got a wild hair. I hadn't even started telling y'all I was going to do it. I didn't even talk about it with y'all, which is what I usually do. I just did it, and I started going darker on the wood stain, and before I knew it, we had dark wood stain in here again, because I absolutely could not stand that orange tinted raw looking wood stain combo that I came up with. Something I kept on with too was making these old trailer doors into barn doors. This is something that Shane and I fiddle-farted around with when we lived in the trailer park. I really wanted barn doors. I looked up the price of barn doors and said, absolutely not. How can we do this cheaper, Shane? So we had an extra door that we decided we were going to fancy up, and that's exactly what we did in the trailer park. Loved it, so we did it here because we loved it in the trailer park. So we literally just take old trailer doors and then we fancy-fy them up. We add some trim and some wood and some barn door hardware to them, and you would not even know they're not actually barn doors. I still have one up in my pantry right now, even though we took these down eventually because I went a little crazy with the Oyster Bay paint color. I tend to do that when I find a paint color I really love. I go overboard with it. I'm trying not to do that with the Cocoa Whip color that I'm obsessed with right now, but it happens usually, and so I ended up taking these down. But I've wanted to put them on a goat shed, to be honest with you, because I still love Oyster Bay. I still got it in my house. I just had too much of it in my house. And so I was trying to go with this luxury look, and I felt like these played against me in that sense. So even though we did do these and I ended up taking them down, I absolutely still love them, and I will always make my barn doors or any fancy doors like that out of the old trailer doors, because it just is so beneficial. I mean, it is so budget friendly. It's easy. It's beginner DIY friendly. I love doing it this way. We just literally paint them, add trim to them, add the barn door hardware, and voila, you just turned your trailer door into a whole barn door. This is something I absolutely will continue to do, and will do over and over and over and over and over again, because it turns out so beautiful every single time, and it's for a fraction of the cost of what you would spend on an actual barn door that you buy. I still have the one that we did more recently. I still have that at our pantry right now, and then we've even done faux glass barn doors. We did one for our laundry room in the trailer park, and that we really just went in blindly. There was no layout. We hadn't seen it done. Nobody had been doing that around that time. We literally just, I said, Shane, what can we make glass out of? He said, well, we could probably do it with plexiglass. And I was like, all right, let's do it. And so we just wung it, and it turned out absolutely beautiful. So it the way we did it mirrored the way that we did our upper cabinets in the new built-in area in the kitchen. If you guys remember how we did that, that's almost exactly what we did for the faux glass barn doors that we did in the trailer park, except for, obviously it was a bigger project than that. It took a lot more manpower and work and time to make a big one of those, but it was absolutely beautiful, and I loved it. So I didn't have a problem with these barn doors. I very much loved them. They just didn't go with what the dining room was turning into. This color, I love Oyster Bay by Sherwin-Williams. That's what color this is. Against the dark wood that you'll see me playing with here in a second, I absolutely loved that up against it. I just went too crazy with it. My whole ceiling in my kitchen is still the Oyster Bay by Sherwin-Williams. So it's a habit that I'm trying to break. When I just find a color that I love with so much, I just run it through the whole house, and then I'm like, whoa, what have I done? It looks like the whole can just threw up in the house. But so this area was originally going to be a formal sit-in room, I think is what you call it. But then I was like, well, I really like the living room idea to be in here. So we were going to move this area to be the living room, and then the other area that's now our living room was going to be the formal living room. I didn't like how the TV was all the way in here, though, and the sitting and the hanging out was in here while I was on the other side of the wall in the kitchen. My dream is always to see my kids around me as I'm in the kitchen cooking or doing whatever. That's why I have a whole 10-foot island in there. And so once we lived here for a little bit, sometimes you don't know that you're going to not like something until you've experienced it. And once we've lived here for a little while, I tell you guys now, I know what I want to see in here, what I don't want to see in here, what works for us here, what doesn't work for us here. And that being the living room, this area just wasn't it. I wanted them close to me. I wanted to be able to talk with them and laugh with them as they're watching TV or doing whatever they're doing. I wanted the living area to be around, me in the kitchen, because I spent a lot of time in the kitchen making meals and cleaning and dishes and stuff like that. So we ended up, not too long after making that area the living room, I knew for sure. I was like, Shane, this is not going to work out. We're going to have to do something else different with this area. But during this point of the video where you see me doing a Sharpie wall, it's a zebra wall. This is one makeover I do not stand by. I've thought about profiting that video so many times. Because what was this? I don't know. The only thing I can say in my defense was I saw a really pretty wallpaper at the Lowe's that had this pattern on it, and I thought it would look better, chunkier and bigger. And it might have if I had done it right, but it ended up looking like a zebra stripe wall. It didn't stay that way long. At this point in time, that orange tinted raw wood looking stain concoction is really bothering me. My floors are bothering me. I'm not completely happy with how everything is turning out. And this is around the time that I lost Binks. And so this homeschool area was working out really good for us. I really liked those shelves there and everything, but I wanted a constant reminder of Binks around me a lot. Man, I was struggling so bad. I wasn't myself for a whole year after that. And I wanted to showcase him. I wanted to showcase him because I wanted the reminder of this dog lived here, and oh my gosh, I loved him so much. And I had a little walk-in four-legged reminder because I had little Duncan, and y'all, I don't know if y'all had seen him yet or not, but during this time of me making this, I don't think you had. No, you hadn't. I hadn't showed him to you guys yet, but I wanted Binks. I wanted Binks back, and I couldn't have Binks back, and my heart was just broken. And so I did a gallery wall, and in my head I saw, Binks in a gallery wall, kind of like you would see at the movie theater. And that's what spawned the whole gallery wall obsession that I have now in my dining room area. It's my most favorite area of my dining room, and Binks is what started that. My missing Binks is what started the gallery wall. It ended up becoming one of the focal points of this whole entire room now, but that's what it started as, is a little reminder of Binksy. So here I finally had it, and I said, I am done. I am changing the stain. Thank the Lord I did. Fun fact, this is one of my most favorite eras of this room. I really like the color combo here. Like I said, I love the oyster bay color against the darker stain. I think it just makes it pop. And really, I miss what it looked like during this era. When you guys see the after pictures here in a second, it's just absolutely stunning. It's beautiful. But I used puck lights that run off batteries, and that will not ever happen again. I told you guys, that was a bad call on my end. I thought, it won't be hard to change all these puck lights. No, once they were dead, they were dead. There was never no changing them. I mean, that's like 37 to 80 billion trillion puck light batteries. Nobody's got time for that. So I did end up loving this, but I love the way that this room looked with the fall decor. And that is actually what inspired the color scheme I have going on now in the dining room. When you guys see it turn into a dining room, know that this era right here is the color scheme I really fell in love with. The warm oranges and browns. The lighting also makes this look really pretty. I don't like this lighting in person, but it does look better on camera. I like warmer lights in person, but they don't do very good on camera. They can look orangey. So now I have a mixture of warm lights and lamps and special light fixtures and cooler lights on the ceiling, and it just gives it kind of the best of both worlds in person. That way the color isn't too orange for you guys, but it's also not too blue and white, because I had these bright white lights and these white walls and this white everything. When I tell you it felt like an asylum, I'm not joking. I didn't quite know what to do with this area of this room, because the way that we had things fixed, we hadn't done the beautiful built-in that's on the opposite side of this wall in the kitchen by this point. So I didn't really know what to do here, and I thought doing a little bar area would be good and would be fun, but we didn't use it as nearly as much as I thought we were going to. So it ended up being done in vain, but I thought at the time that was a good idea and it would get used. But really, I was the only one that used it. The kids used it every now and then when they were near me. They'd be sitting there on their iPads or something like that, but I used it more than really anybody, and I realized I don't even like using this area. I just use it because nobody uses it, and I want to feel like I didn't do it in vain. So it didn't hurt my feelings when we took it out to make the area, the cove area that you guys will see at the end of this video. Now's the era where I'm realizing I want this to be a dining room. It took months and months and months and months, probably years, of some of you guys screaming, "Marina, make that room a dining room," for me to really be like, okay, I can see it. I can see it. I can visualize it. Once we took the main living area into the side of the double wide that has the kitchen, and everybody started hanging out in there, and it became the living room I wanted it to be, and it became the area that I wanted it to be, I realized I would like a formal dining room, because we were all eating around the island, which wasn't a problem. It's really like a table anyway. It's 10 foot long, but I like the idea of a formal living room. I never had one before, and so I ran with what you guys were telling me, and I will have to say, you guys are on it. You guys know what you're talking about, and I usually listen to you always. If it's something that I think I'll like or something, there's 100,000 voices coming at me, so I can't listen to every single one, especially if they go against each other, like I have to pick one. But I do try to listen to the consensus and like what the majority of you guys are saying, and the majority of you guys were yelling, make this a dining room, for the longest time, and I finally was like, you know what, they really haven't ever steered me wrong. We're going to try this, and we got knee deep into it, and I was like, oh, they were not wrong. They know their stuff. So I knew from experience, okay, we want it to be warm and inviting. We want to have some color depth in here, because we don't want it to look like an asylum. We've lived here long enough now to where I know what I don't want and what I do want. So let's do something fun and funky. So we did an archway, some really fun lighting on the wall. We continued the gallery wall around the whole room, and then we didn't take this stuff that we did here down. We just built on top of it to save money, so that we didn't waste money by doing the first project the way that we did. I just had to get creative and come up with a way that I could utilize the things we had already done, but I could turn it kind of into something new. I could build on top of it. That's the way I do things to save money. So we boxed this area in just with some thin wood and trim to make this look like it's boxed in, and then I did a color drench on the inside. I added some lights that are not battery powered. I did like strip lights around the inside of the thin wood we did to make it look built in, sort of. And then we built on top, we used this as a canvas basically for a fancier type of, what is that called? Mantle. We used the mantle we'd already built for the bones to this mantle that we just added trim on to make it look brand new. And then we painted the Oyster Bay cabinets. We had Oyster Bay. We just tried to elevate and enhance what we had already done in order for it to kind of fit in with the whole theme and the whole aesthetic that I wanted it to be. So it turned into the gorgeous dining room that I absolutely love so much right now. We got to do a few little things. So Shane, real quick before I do the walkthrough with you guys, we're going to put some drywall on either side of this, because I don't want the brick showing behind this wall. I think the brick on the fireplace is enough. So Shane's going to go in and we're going to play a joint compound, but on that side he's going to add some sheetrock. Now we're going to finish out the arch as well, because the arch hasn't been finished. We've been avoiding it because it has joint compound. So Shane is going to quickly go through here, and we're going to finish up and sand and smooth out this area where the arch is, which leads us to our problem here in a minute that you hear me going on about, the joint compound explosion. We had taped things off and we had sealed things off, we thought, but this stuff is particles. It gets everywhere. We had put plastic up, made a whole room and everything something so the dust wouldn't get on the stuff. Nope, didn't work. It somehow went through. It was like the plastic wasn't even a barrier. It was like the plastic wasn't even there. We taped it and everything, but it ended up coating like an inch thick. Not even kidding you. An inch thick of joint compound covered every single thing in this room. It took 8 hours to clean. It was a nightmare, but this is how we got there. This is how we got there. Joint compounding, sanding down and painting the arch, and then adding, like I said, the sheetrock here on the left and right side of the new cove built in. And then we also added trim to the cove built in too. You can see there around the arch, Shane's put in pieces of trim on the corners and around the arch just to make it look more finished and smooth, because arches can be difficult. So it just kind of finishes out the project and makes it look better, if you know what I'm saying. Like, it just makes it look finished. Oh, I am in love. I'm in love. Never did I ever really think that I was going to end up going this route. But can I tell you that I'm so glad that we did? This is one of the most different rooms I've ever made over, because it's not my usual style, but it's something I genuinely it feels so cozy and homey. Just forewarning you that before I film this, we had a huge giant joint compound explosion. We tried to tape things off and to plastic things off, and it didn't work. And so I just spent an entire morning, like 8 hours, with the entire family cleaning dust off of every surface, which is why this is sitting right here and not where it's supposed to be. It was a mess. You'll also probably hear the kiddos and the doggies. It's okay, we live here. I like hearing those noises, and I know a lot of you guys do too, because it reminds you of, you know, a different era of your life. A lot of you guys are older and more wise and been through some stuff, and you guys tell me that you like hearing those noises in the background because it's a reminder. And so I don't ever apologize for those anymore. I used to say, I'm sorry if you hear the background, but I'm not sorry, because that's life, and it's a precious time in my life, and it reminds you of a precious time in yours. And so you're going to hear all the things because we live here. I'm going to do a quick walk around. Don't mind the porch. We're actually starting on that soon. I've been trying to wait for good weather. It is finally sunny outside this afternoon. It was not sunny outside 20 minutes ago. It was pouring rain. So I'm trying to wait on a good day to start the porch area and take you guys along with us on that. That'll be probably a couple of videos from now is when we'll start that. We may start it right away. I'm not really sure. Don't hold me to it. Try not to make promises I can't keep, but it will be started soon. That is a promise that you can put me to. That's a promise I can stand by right there. So with this dining room, I was going to just walk you around. You guys have seen all the videos. I showed you guys all the clips. I figured it would be best just to add all of those clips into a video so you can kind of visually follow along, because a lot of you guys haven't seen every single video from start to finish. A lot of you guys have found me along the way. A lot of you guys have chosen not to watch all the videos, and whatever, what for, why, it doesn't really matter. I just wanted to update you and bring you along and up to speed with what it took to get here, because it's not always, it looks one way and now it looks this way. A lot of times there's in the middle stuff and there's a process to it, and a lot of times that isn't shown on the internet. And I want you guys to realize that this is not what it's going to be overnight, but that's okay. If you're consistently working on it and you keep up with it and you keep coming back to it, you will get it to how you want it to be. And even then, you'll probably change it in the future. I know that this is not where this room stops. Somebody asked me this in Marina, what are you going to do when you run out of rooms to make over? And I'm never going to run out of rooms to make over, because I'm always going to be looking for the next thing to do, because our skills are always improving. My taste is ever changing. There's always new ideas. There's always inspiration. I will sit in a Shoney's and get inspired and literally remodel my entire trailer in a trailer park because I'm inspired by the Shoney's decor. That's literally what happens. So there'll always be new inspo come in. There'll always be new projects we can do, because our skills have gotten better. You can do more when you have more skills, sort of thing. So there'll always be a little bit of change going on, but I like to just flow with how I feel and with what we can afford. And so that's what I kind of did here. I built off the things I already did, and I elevated it, I guess you could say, in my taste. Like, my opinion, I elevated it to a new taste I have that really focuses on me as a person, I guess. I don't really have an aesthetic, but I have a aesthetic I like. And then I have an aesthetic that I am. And I tried to meld those two together because I don't have an aesthetic, but I am sort of an aesthetic. It's like a dang, I'm here sort of aesthetic, right? I'm gonna show up in a striped pajamas most of the time with a, and then miscolored pajama pants. It's the dang, I'm here aesthetic. I love the look of this, whatever this is. I don't know the name for it. Do you guys? I love the look of it. So I tried to match who I am versus who I want to be and make it an aesthetic for my home because I'm always working to be better than I am now. One day I'm not going to be, dang, I'm here. I'm going to be, oh, dang, she's here. So starting off here, let me get this sponge that's just chilling here. Over here, we've got our gallery wall continuation. This was not planned. I just decided to continue it because I loved it so much over here. I love these pictures. This was a gift from my realtor. Whenever we bought this home, she gifted us with family pictures. And the woman did a fantastic job. Absolutely beautiful pictures. And I wanted to showcase them in a kind of gallery slash movie theater is what I saw in my head when I chose to go with this. I saw the posters at the movie theater and the lights over top of them, and I was like, that's what I want there. So that's what started that, and that's why I continued that wall over here, is because it's one of my most favorite aspects of my home. It's aesthetic, it's pretty, but it also showcases my most favorite people on the planet. Over here, we have the cove-like area that I was wanting to put the microwave in here. A lot of people don't understand that. That's okay, I get it. I'm probably doing it wrong. I don't really know how to have a dining room, I guess, because never had a dining room. Don't really know what goes in a dining room other than your plate and, your butt, but when you sit in a chair. But I wanted it because Nanny always had her microwave in her dining room. And that's kind of what I wanted. It's just something I always think of when I see the microwave, when I think of the microwave. And I'm like, I kind of want that in the dining room because, right there's the microwave. Right here's where you're going to sit and eat it. It's further away if I put the microwave in the kitchen. So I decided to put the microwave in here, and I like it. I like it a lot. I want it to be on a dresser. That was very important to me because that is from my papa that raised me. That is not here, but with Jesus. And I was like, I really want to play off of the cove thing I have in my mind. So I did a color drench on the inside, wallpaper on the back for a sort of pop, and then just a simple shelf to cover up the patchwork of the wallpaper. And then I put the coffee maker over here because it matches, and I figured I would. Don't pay attention to the rest of the house. We're going to be doing cleaning sometime this week. That's going to be clean later this evening, but I'm going to be doing deep cleaning sometime this week. But I was like, you know what? I like the idea of having matching coffee machine and microwave right here, and I feel like it goes really good. I can also sit and have my coffee at the table with the kiddos in the morning while they're eating breakfast, because we're going to have some microwave toast sticks or something going on. So I was like, yeah, I like that. So I have my coffee syrups up here in case I have to have my coffee syrups, and salt and pepper container right here, and then just a little few pieces of decor, but not a whole lot of decor because I didn't want to clutter it. I wanted this whole cove area to speak for itself. We did the black colored doors, which I love, but I'm not a fan of the process. Would I ever do it again? Probably not. Absolutely not, actually. I will just save for 10 years to afford a actual black door that was meant to be a black door and not a white door painted as a black door. That was a process and it's not perfect, but I want you to know nothing in this house is perfect, not even yours truly. We're all just the best that we can be in here, including those doors. So, it is what it is, but I love them and they do bring me happiness, and I am glad that I did it. I just wouldn't do it again. And I like the curtains because it takes that black door with the gold accent and it just kind of elevates it, I feel like. So I love that. Love that we did that. Love what we did with the main focal point of the room, which is this fireplace here. No, this fireplace doesn't work. It didn't work when we bought the house, but it is an actual fireplace. Something to do with the fireplace thing on the roof. I'm not sure. They would have it labeled in the home inspection. I cannot remember though what it is, but I wanted this just to be a focal area. I didn't want to leave my brick yet. I know people are moving on from the brick look. I love the brick look. I do love stonework though, and I did think about going the stonework route. It just wasn't in the budget. So one day I may decide I want to change up the faux brick that we did here, and I want to do stonework. And if that happens, I'll bring y'all along with me, but I forgot this was here. This is not supposed to be here. This is my Mother's Day present from my mama. My mom got me a Mother's Day present, and I love it, and I've been meaning to put it outside, but I wanted to get the porch done because I want to put it in an area on the porch. Let me take, what are we naming her? Flossie. Let me take Flossie over here. But I like the brick for right now, and I'm not ready to leave it. I'm not ready to leave it, so I just kind of worked around it and added the vibe that I wanted, the new look I'm going for, the new aesthetic. I added it, paired it up with the brick, and it ended up looking really pretty, and I got the most important person in my life right up there on display. So I like the way that it turned out. I also didn't want to clutter the shelves. I felt like too much would really take the focus away, and it would, the darker paint color, the brown paint color, it would really kind of clash with a lot of color. So I tried rich colors with also a lot of texture to bring out both the brick and the brown color, and I feel like I did an okay job. Then we got the gallery wall over here, which I love. My most favorite part of this whole room is this gallery wall with the arch that's finally finished over there. We do have some issues with the joint compound. We're still not really great at joint compound, but the more we do it, the better we'll get at it. So if we get better with joint compound after several more projects and we come back and want to fix it, then we can do that. Or I have hacks that I can get around it too. If it starts to bother me where it looks a little splotchy or a little uneven, then I have hacks that we can do if we want to come back and revisit it. But right now, I love the way that this gallery wall looks. I feel like the two lights here around the arch are perfect. I might end up doing a little bit more trim work. I'm not quite sure, but for right now, I think it's finished for me for a little bit, for right now at least. We got the chandelier here to add the gold accents that I've been having to fit over. I wanted to tie it in with the kitchen, and the kitchen is awfully white. I went a little overboard with the white. I didn't mean to, it just kind of happened. So I really wanted to tie the gold accents in here too. So we've got the gold accent chandelier here, the gold accent lighting, the gold accent knobs, and the gold accent candle that's crooked right now that I accidentally broke on camera. And the gold accent candles, decor, knobs, handles, things like that over here too. This really should be centered with this right here, but then it's not centered on the table. And I like the table here better than I did where it was centered under the chandelier. It gave us more room right here to walk through, and I really liked that. It's not a problem if we move it back. It's just you can't really tell it's not centered until you're standing at a particular area in the room. Another thing, though, is this rug. I absolutely love it so much. It does not fit, though, with the chairs. So will I change that? No, I would like to actually layer it probably because I love this rug. If I didn't use this rug here, I would use it somewhere. I love this rug. So that's something I can figure out another day. The joint compound mess has done something to the table here. You can see it looks a little splotchy. People want me to finish this. It is finished. It's just finished with a matte. So I might go in and gloss it up even more so. It'll also be easier to clean if it's more glossy. So I might do that on an evening. I don't really have much to do. There's not many evenings in my life like that. But I may get a wild hair and just decide to gloss it up a little bit and go more so of a not matte route. I just wanted to, that root that started this whole thing, you know, I really loved Farmhouse for the longest time, and I felt like that still tied in that feel. So I kind of wanted to go matte. But if I decide to go glossy because it's not cleaning as well, or I'm having an issue with it, or I'm not getting it shiny and it's starting to look a little splotchy like it does right now because of the joint compound and I was wiping it, but when you wipe joint compound, you just move it around. If I have issues with that, then I can seal it, just slightly sand it, and then seal it with a glossier finish, and it'll look better. I forgot to mention that down here, Shane made boxes, so I can literally pull those out and store things under there too, as well as the drawer chair. It's not goodbye dining room, it is see you later, but I'm saying see you later with a smile on my face because I'm so ready to move on to something new. I cannot wait. I'm sure we'll be back in here visiting this area, adding something new here or there, but I'm ready to move on to the next part of the double wide. A huge thank you for hanging out with me. I hope you'll have a blessed morning, evening, night, whatever it is, wherever you're at. Know that I love you, but Jesus loves you so much more. I'll see y'all later. Thank you guys for sticking with me. I love you so much.